Hello, my name is Adepitan. I am a TV journalist, Paralympic medalist, and also a TV presenter as well.
And a total superstar. Can we get a round of applause for Ade? Because that's what he really is. And I'm Andréa Vieira. It's a pleasure to be here. I used to be a journalist, but today I'm a founder and CEO of a small chain of businesses here in Washington, D.C. called The Nail Saloon. I am so excited to be here, and we are both so excited to be welcoming you all to the public forum of the 2024 Global Inclusive Growth Summit, which is organized by Mastercard Center for Inclusive Growth and also media partner DevX. Let's give a big round of applause to them. I'm also thrilled to be welcoming so many people joining us from all around the world. And so I welcome you wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good middle of the night, if you're lucky enough to be in Hawaii. Thank you for joining us. Ade, it's your second time here. It's my first. Tell us why you're back.
Oh, why am I back? Because of the vibe, because of the energy of this place. And it's because, you know, last year, I met so many incredible, intelligent people who have got the can-do attitude. That attitude of, we might need someone to fix it.
There might be a little rain coming here, but we're live, so we're going to go with it. Abundance. Rain is abundance in some places.
Yeah, climate change in action here.
It's affecting even theaters.
No, but it's that can-do attitude. You know, people here really want to make a difference and want to make a change, and it excites me. Yeah, I'm from a sporting background, and I love the idea of, you know, people collectively trying to make change. Yeah, I see this as like one of the greatest teams that we can put together. It also reminds me of like my father, my late father. He used to say to me, Ade, you know your problem. Your problem is you think every day is Christmas. And that's what it feels like being around you guys. It feels like I know that every day can be a better day because we've got people who are the right-minded people who are really trying to create change.
I love it. I love it. It's the right spirit, Ade.
And Andréa, you're here for the first time. You know, tell me what you're expecting and what you're excited about.
I mean, I think for me, it's exciting on a really personal level, right? I am a woman. I am a Latina. I'm originally from Brazil. Shout out to Brazil watching.
Come on.
I'm an immigrant to the United States, and I'm a business owner. So inclusion is something that hits all of those facets of my life. It's exciting to be in a room full of people who are so committed and passionate about creating positive change in our world. And it gives us the hope that we need during these kind of uncertain times, especially in a week like today, where so much is going on in town.
Yeah, so much is going on. And this is a big week in Washington, D.C. You've got the World Bank, IMF spring meetings happening just a few streets away. And it's really easy to get caught up in all the challenges happening around those discussions. But today is about something different. It's about solutions. It's about partnerships. It's about people coming together. It's about new faces, hearing new voices, and hopefully coming up with new ideas that's going to create equitable and, you know, amazing change all over the world. Now, we've got a fantastic session lined up with you today, some amazing speakers. And Andréa and I are going to be guiding you through today. And it's going to be a really, really special day, don't you think?
Yeah, it's going to be remarkable. You will want to be here. And when we give you cues of how short your breaks are for coffee, we really suggest, this is your first housekeeping, we suggest that when we give you the cues that you have 10 minutes that you come right back because you won't want to miss any of the sessions we have.
Exactly. And, but before we get everything kicked off, I will need to start things off properly. We need to get things started properly. And to start things off, I feel like you need to welcome somebody you all already know. She is an incredible change maker, a fantastic force for good, and also wears some of the best suits I've ever seen.
True story.
The suits she wears are incredible. So please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for founder and president of the Mastercard Center for Inclusive Growth, Shamina Singh. I told you.
Welcome! Inclusive Growth Summit. I am so happy to see you all here. Guess what, everybody? We have about 7,000 people tuning in from 190 countries. We've got 500 people signed up and they're waiting outside, and I just heard from security that some are using my name to say that they're allowed to come in, but we only have room in this theater for 200 of you. So we made it special. We want to make it intimate because we know that this is a gathering of people who are doing this work on the front lines. And speaking of the front lines, today we're also joined by former Utah governor, former ambassador to Russia, former ambassador to China, and now vice chairman of Mastercard and the new president of strategic growth at Mastercard, John Huntsman, is joining us today. So I want everybody to make him feel welcome today, too. It's also a special day because it's our anniversary. This is the 10th year of the Mastercard Center for Inclusive Growth. So, before you start saying happy anniversary or happy birthday or happy whatever, I want to tell you just a quick story of why we created the center and how that fits with the theme of bringing your complementary superpowers to this space today. I joined Mastercard 11 years ago with the CEO who said, let's try to figure out how to broaden our customer base for business purposes, but let's do it in a way that allows us to do well by doing good. Where are the people? What's the customer base we don't see yet? What's the customer base that's going to help us and help the world 10 years down the line? I joined to start digitizing social subsidy programs for the governments around the world. Now remember, 10 years ago, not very many phones, not very many internet connections. So we started in South Africa. In South Africa, mostly women, would travel 5 days to get their social subsidy payment paid in cash from the South African government. They would come, they would camp for 3 or 4 days and wait for the money trucks to come in, for the government representatives to set up, and then for each one, by one, hand them their cash subsidy. Now you can imagine, we call it leakage, that's the nice word. By the time it got to these women, 30% of the money was gone. Then they had it in cash, had to go back 3 days to their villages or wherever they were located, and then guess who was waiting for them at the front door? Their husbands were waiting for them at the front door. So while they were able to take, maybe 90% of the money that they have to deliver and stash it under their mattress to send their kids to school, their husbands and sometimes their mother-in-laws got a little bit off the top to do whatever they were going to do with the money. It seemed like it was an insurmountable problem. The head of Africa for Mastercard at that time said, I think we have a solution. And that was to digitize that flow of payment. It sounds small, but that small change created enormous impact. By digitizing, by creating the connection between the bank, the government, the bank, a bank account, and the woman getting the money, it allowed the money to go straight to her, in her name, with her identification, so that she had the agency to own and spend that money the way she sees fit for her family. That one change 10 years ago allowed us, it is worthy of applause, because that one change 11 years ago created a revolution in digitization around the world. And we saw it during COVID. We saw that if you weren't digital during COVID, you had a much tougher time surviving COVID. Now we have phones. Now we have technology. But now we have the opportunity that we didn't have before to say to those women, not only was it to get you the bank account and get you the money so that you had agency, we had to build the digital infrastructure around you so that you could use your phone or use your card, to go spend your money on groceries, to go spend your money on the things that, healthcare, on the things that you need for your family. Again, it sounds easy for us, but it is revolutionary for somebody who is living in a place that does not have access to internet, does not have access to a bank account, does not have access to the safety and security of cyber protection. But today, because of you all, mission-driven CEOs, purpose-driven companies, philanthropists and funders, academics, activists, and athletes. Megan Rapinoe is here today. Storytellers and truth tellers. The CEO of Wikipedia is here today. Frontline practitioners, proactive government representatives, the best of the bureaucrats, responsible, responsible data leaders, development financiers, faith-based change makers. Cardinal Turkson is with us today. And of course, all of you watching, learning, and leaning in. Today is the day, this is the moment where we move from a moment to a movement. We see the impossible become possible, but only if we follow this advice. We listen with empathy. We meet each other with compassion, with decency. We act with a sense of urgency. And most of all, as I said last year from the stage, we go together. So let's go together today. And to kick off the day, I have the enormous pleasure to introduce somebody who needs no introduction, whose life and work and music are familiar to everyone in the room, and who started his foundation, the Elton John AIDS Foundation, to set itself apart with incredible ambition to end HIV and AIDS by 2030. I have to also share with you, sadly, he had to have a minor operation. So it ultimately prevented him from traveling here today, and he was terribly disappointed. So a couple of days ago, I actually sat down with him, and we talked through some of these issues. So I invite you to listen to a conversation where he talks about his relationship with Ryan White, an American teenager who was banned from school following his diagnosis of AIDS, who became the inspiration for Sir Elton John to turn his own life around and establish his foundation. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my extreme honor and pleasure to introduce to you Sir Elton John.